Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be doing another What's It Worth. And obviously in our previous video, we covered the White Gleaming Halloween Duskit. And as you probably just saw, just for a little snippet there, today we're going to be covering what's standing right behind me, being none other than the Gleaming Cyan Duskit. And this bad boy was actually caught by Patcho Paradise, so major shoutouts to you. Here's your Roblox username. But before we get into any of the odds and all that good stuff, make sure to take everything I say onwards with a grain of salt, as all this information can be out of date or can be subject to change. With this being said, we can see this at the same odds as the White Gleaming Halloween Duskit, being a 1 in 32,000 chance to find in the wild. Now, as for the value, since it's around almost 8 days past his event, a lot of this value is going to be a little bit iffy. But as for the GR for this, we can see this at the lowest being around almost 30 GR, and bear in mind that's only if it's a really bad Duskit. To the highest about almost 50 GR max. Now with all this information in mind, let's get straight into the trading process. Alright, let's go in the chat and type in looking for offers on Cyan, Gleaming Halloween Duskit, and boom. Now let's wait for offers. So our first trade request is coming from Zin Yum back one, so we'll just call you Zin. So let's see what Zin has to share with us today. Alright, so we start off with the Gamma Pyramid, which is also going to be Pure Nimble and Temper, a GSA Halloween Boneki, Pure Nimble, a Gleaming Halloween Phage Knot, Pure Nimble, and a GSA Hydralin, which seems like it might be PvP based. And without having to ask, they did just say, this is my offer. So with this being said, is this trade worth it? Now, personally speaking, we know that the Gleam Halloween Boneki is around, just give or take maybe 2 GR at the very best. Bearing that in mind, and plus the fact that this Gamma Pyramid is going to be around 8 GR, Gleaming Halloween Phage Knot is going to be around 10 GR, but this is going to be really bad on demand. Not the worst, but still pretty bad. And as for the GSA Hydralin, we can see that being around almost 3 GR, but with bad demand. That being said, if we take into account that the potential base for this is 2 GR on the Boneki and add in the SA, potentially we can see about almost 10 plus GR. So just to be on the safe side, we'll say about 12 plus GR, maybe a little under, a little 10 GR. So with that being said, is this trade worth it? Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say for the time being, this trade is going to be a thumbs down. The main factor for that is obviously due to the fact a lot of the Loomians on the right are going to have, once again, like I said, a bad demand. We're looking at all these having roughly mediocre to bad demand, especially with the Pyramid being the only Loomian I know, at least at the moment, besides maybe Boneki, that would have decent demand. But aside from that, these are not going to be the strongest trades you would want to take, and overall, they could be better. So with this being said, let's get into our next trade. All right, and the next trade request is coming from Emperor of Gardening. So let's see what Emperor has to share with us today. So we start off with a Gleaming Halloween Purple Cephalops, Clumsy Clever, GSA Halloween Bump Puff, Pure Nimble, a Gleaming Halloween Black Duskit, Pure Nimble, and Emperor did just say that's my offer. So with this being said, is this trade worth it? Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. As of now, we can tell that this Gleaming Halloween Black Duskit is going to be the major overpay here. I mean, realistically speaking, as a 101, you're still getting a W if you're the Cyan, because Black has the better demand right now. So overall, this is a major thumbs up. I mean, we're also adding the Cephalops and the Gleaming SA. So yeah, I mean, with that being said, let's get into our next trade. All right, and the next trade request is coming from Sushi_eyeball. So let's see what Sushi has to share with us today. So we start off with a Gamma Me Mask, Foolish Nimble, a Gamma Christmas Grief Zone, Pure Nimble, and a Gleam Plush Kit, Pure Nimble. And it does seem like this may be Sushi's final offer, but I'll quickly check in a second. All right, so I did just ask Sushi as to whether or not this is his final offer or not, and he did just say, So with this being said, is this trade worth it? This trade is going to have to lead towards an E/L. Main reason why I say E/L is simply, once again, due to the demand factor. Now, we already know that the Gamma Mask is going to be around almost 10 to 15 within that range. I could be wrong, but I'll correct myself in the value when I put it up. As for the Gamma Grief Zone, we can see this being around almost 30 GR with bad demand, and for the Gleam Plush Kits, they're usually around 6 GR with good demand, if not mediocre demand. So that being said, this is overall going to be an E/L. Personally speaking, would I do this trade? Not necessarily. I would go for the high roll on the max GR that I can get if this is pure natured, which in this case, this one's going to be pure smart. So that's just for my reference. Overall, if you're doing this trade, it wouldn't be the worst trade you can take, but personally speaking, I necessarily wouldn't do it, which is why I put it at the E/L. That being said, let's get into our next trade. All right, and the next trade request is coming from Hakan Yilmazin_L. So let's see what Hakan has to share with us today. So we start off with a Gamma Reskin Cradle, Pure Nimble, a Gleam Kapoink, Dull Clever, a Gleam Hollabunch, Dull Brawny, Gleam Cinnamoth, Brawny Sluggish, and it does seem like this may be Hakan's final trade, but I'll quickly check in a second. So Hakan really hasn't responded, so we're just going to assume that this is the final offer. They also did add in the Gleam Thaumin, Clumsy Clever, Gleam Krakaloa, Frail Smart, Rainbow Elaguana, Pure Nimble, Gleam Sikaloo, Pure Nimble, Arceros, Pure Hyper, and a Pyramid, Pure Nimble, and it's also going to be Temperate. So with this being said, is this trade worth it? Unfortunately, I think we already know this answer. This trade is going to be a major thumbs down. We're not even pushing 1 GR, let alone even 0.1 GR or any of that good stuff. No need to further explain. That being said, let's get into our next and final trade. All right, and the next and final trade request is coming from Damn Jal. So let's see what Jal has shared with us today. So we start off with the Gamma Halloween Bun Puff, Pure Nimble, a Gamma Halloween Dractus, Pure Nimble, a Gleaming Halloween White Duskit, Frail Nimble, a Gamma Duskit, Pure Nimble, a Gleaming Halloween Shachi, non-first edition, Pure Smart, a Gleam Noli Metronet, Pure Nimble, a Gleaming Halloween Bun Puff, Pure Nimble, an SA Halloween White Duskit, Hyper Frail, a Gleaming Christmas Metronet, Dull Robust, and a Gleam Brown Cosmere, Pure Nimble. And it does seem like this may be Jal's final offer, but I'll quickly check in a second. All right, so I've been been going back and forth with y'all, and we did just come to the conclusion that they're going to be offering these 6 Loomians. So we do add in the Gleam Cosmere, which is going to be the teal one, I believe, if you're nimble, along with the Gleam Christmas Petronet. We do have all these Loomians right here, and the ones on the top. That being said, is this trade worth it? Personally speaking, this trade has got to be a thumbs up. Do keep in mind that we're going to be working with the Gleaming Halloween White Duskit as the base, plus the SA Halloween White Duskit, which is a little bit extra GR. It's not like crazy high like the Gleaming version, but it is still decent GR that we're working with. We do have the Gleam Brown, which unfortunately brown Cosmeres aren't really good in demand. They've actually dropped really badly. Then the Gleaming Halloween Bunucky, we know is about like 1 to 2 GR from that range. So yeah, with that being said, this is going to be a thumbs up. And with this being said, let's wrap this trade up. Alrighty guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, and join our Discord server. While you're at it, go join Reliable Values if you haven't already. And for our little giveaway that we're hosting for that 1,000 Robux plus about 6 GR giveaway, Reliable Values, or RV in this case, has hit 1,000 members, and we're about less than 10 subscribers from hitting that second goal that we need in order to host the giveaway. So if you guys haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, obviously, because that's what we need for that. But don't just stop there. Head on over to my TikTok, because yes, Unk does post on TikTok. So if you guys can, please make sure to follow and spread that around. And lastly, if you guys want, check out our merch, because very soon I actually did get the AOK to make some Halloween themed merch, and specifically Gleaming Halloween Duskit merch. And this is how it's gonna go. We're gonna make it so that the Gleaming Halloween Duskit merch is probably gonna be hoodies. We made a little poll in the stream that I did recently, and a lot of people wanted them to be as hoodies. So for our limiteds and exclusives, which will be 50 Robux, we'll do the Noli being normal Noli, Gleam Noli, and Gamma Noli, which will be 50 Robux as I stated. As for the Gleaming Halloween Duskit merch, you'll see that being 5 Robux at the very highest. So if you guys are interested for all that information, do expect a lot of that in the Discord server to be announced. This being said, I hope you guys did enjoy. Remember, pineapples are vegetables. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, stay safe, peace.